Okay, it is Thursday. Fair amount of chit-chatting on the message forums today with a couple of the guys. And had an interesting surprise when I got to the mailbox this afternoon. Had the package from Chris, Gear Noir, the shaving challenge with the double edge razor without a safety bar on it. So that's probably going to be up for maybe tomorrow or Saturday when I got a little bit of time, and I'll might have to do a shave with the old fat boy, get back into the double edge mindset, and kind of like riding a bike, but it's very rarely that I do a double edge shave nowadays. So still, it's a little bit of a mental gear change, and the mental gear changes aren't as crisp as they used to be. So because I couldn't recall whether or not I ever gave Gear my address and this and that, and then I did a little bit of figuring and I figured out how I got my address, but that's a whole nother story. So today, I always shave right after I get out of the shower. Today, I mean, I've never talked about it, but here lately, last couple, probably about the last year or so, I've been using this soap, which if you like sandalwood, it says woodsy, a sandalwood scent. It's actually a pretty nice scent, really nice triple milled soap, and relatively inexpensive. And when they say big ass beer soap, it is a big ass bar of soap. I mean, compare it to, I mean, it's a pretty big block. I end up cutting them in half and then using them half at a time because it's just too damn big to have on the shelf in the shower with me and all. So that's what my soap's been lately. I kind of alternate between that and my favorite of all favorites, Tayback bath soap, and big Tayback fan. Today is Strike Gold Teddy, which if you've been keeping track, the last couple shaves have been with the Strike Gold, and I've gotten a little bit of irritation, but now I'm not sure whether to attribute it to the razor or the soap. So, but the razor that I used with the Strike Gold that got irritation, I used with one of my go-to soaps, my Sudsy Soapery, and I still had some irritation. So that razor is going to go into the touch-up pile, and I'm breaking out a known sharp razor, and I haven't given up on it yet. I'm not one to quit easily, so here's the Teddy scent, which is my favorite out of all 5 out of the box, and I got that box mailed out today to the next person on the list. Wouldn't you know it, his name's Dave too. I mean, must have been, I don't know, 50 some years ago or whatever. I guess that was a pretty damn popular name to name your kid. So anywho, used a fair amount of product and just kept adding water till it felt right, looked right, and nice thick lather. And I really like the smell on this one. Kind of reminiscent, reminds me of my Schiermonic Thunderstorm and I guess that's Austrian or German. I think it's Austrian. But I really like that soap, the soap performance and the smell. That's one of them ones that I will, when I use it up, I will probably, or most certainly get another tin. It comes in tins, but I really like that soap. So today's razor is one of my 14s, the Double Temple, or no, this is the Especial. So it's good and sharp, struck up, ready to go. So we shall see how the shave is today with this razor. So, like I said, not giving up on it yet. Sometimes it's user error, sometimes it's the razor. Some soaps don't really come into their own unless you get the water just right, or some soaps don't like hot water in the scuttle. Breaks them down. Never really experienced any water quality issues, so to speak, with soaps. I'm on county water, town water, so I guess some people with hard water have an issue. I did notice when I went down Fort Benning, I took one of my regular go-to soaps. I took K-Back with me, so, and that's never a problem, and that's usually super forgiving. I did notice it was I guess the water down there was a little harder in the motel, and so I just used a little bottled water when I made after the first use, and straighten right back out. Let's hope all you guys had a good Thursday. Mine was uneventful. Working back with my old crew and bouncing around in the big rig. I got two little weepers. Going too fast and talking. So it'll be interesting to use that razor that Chris sent along and see what that's like. I'm probably gonna, he sent along some 7 o'clock blades, but I'm probably gonna pop one of my Vashkods in there. That's the blade that I settled on after I got one of them big sampler packs. And what is it? Generally averages between like 10 and sometimes $9 or $10 for 100 of them. I mean, what's not to like? And I can easily get 5 really decent shades out of them. If I wanted to push it further, I could, but then I'd just be reminding myself of all them years I used them cheap Acme blades from my dad's work. He used to work at Acme markets. So that's what he always used. That's what we always had around the house when I was younger. And I just got the same blades he always got. So, didn't know no better. And then, fast forward 30 years and internet and reading other people's thoughts and all, and then next thing I know, I'm ordering a pack with, I think it was 25 or 30 different razor blades, variety of blades from all over the world. and trying them all and thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, why didn't I do this earlier? I think that's what my first wife said after she divorced me. Man, why didn't I do this earlier? So, concentrating on a nice light touch, and the whiskers are disappearing off of my face. We'll see what the aftershave says. Sometimes you can tell before you even finish that it was a little harsh, or not so much protection, but then there's other times when you think, right up until the end, you think to yourself, man, this was super nice, super smooth, and then you splash on the aftershave. Well, it's not quite that Home Alone moment, but you get that, ooh, that's a little warm. Unless you're one of them guys that always uses like the balms or something like that, then alcohol-free ones, and then I guess you wouldn't have that effect. So, I notice, like watching, especially Rich, when he uses a straight, or when you use a straight, Rich, the seems like you have a much steeper angle than I use. It's always interesting, other people's styles, or whatever you want to call it, ways they go about it. There's more than one way to shave a cat, so to speak. And it's not right or wrong, it's just my way and your way. So, get my little face cowlick there. Yeah, I look on my head, aside from the scars and such, I think I got 1 or 2 cowlicks on the back of my head. I don't know. Maybe my mom didn't turn me enough or something. Don't really have a flat spot or anything. Worked with a guy one time that he had a little bit of a misshapen kind of thing. The back of his head was awful flat, and nice guy. But I often thought he must have spent a lot of time laying there looking up at that toy above his crib or something. What do they call them? I can't remember what they call them. Oh, God. I'll think of it. Surprisingly enough, his name was Carl. And I don't know, when I was in the Army, Carl was the universal name of fictitious person that was always screwing up. So something bad would happen, or something would not get done or need to get done, and it was, damn it, Carl. Damn it, Carl. Where'd you put that? Why'd you do that? Damn it, Carl. So, but Carl was a good guy. Just had a little bit of an odd-shaped head. So nowadays, I think my one neighbor, his boy's head was a little bit oddly shaped, and he had to wear special headgear and all that stuff to get it straightened out. So probably saved him. I mean, that was a couple years ago. It straightened out. Probably saved that boy from a lifetime of teasing, which is a good thing. If he's anything like his dad was a bit of a goof. So being a goof and looking goofy, man, that can be the kiss of death in like elementary school. Except nowadays, I think elementary school, they probably would protect them quite a bit more than my teachers did me. I mean, back before political correctness and all that stuff, and you were watching Charles Bronson, Chuck Norris, and John Wayne on TV, and playing cowboys and Indians. Oh my God, how racist and all. But I don't know. Kind of always makes me think of the difference between 1930s Germany and 1930s France, how things were handled and how it worked out. And I think sometimes I think we need to toughen up a little bit. And even more so, I was talking about my grandfather the other day with, he would just be amazed at everybody freaking out and buying toilet paper and all that stuff. And he would have probably said something like, yeah, just use a couple pages out of an old Sears catalog or a corn cob, or, go down to the creek. What's the big deal? And in reality, really, what is the big deal? But, people today, the fear of running out of toilet paper leads them to fight over it. So, all right, well, now for the final solution. So I will use, I don't know what would go, I'm trying to think of what would go well with that scent. And it doesn't really even have to go well, because it's not that strong of a scent to it. I'd say medium to medium light, but it was a very pleasant scent. I like the scent very much. The performance, slickness-wise, residual slickness, I would give it fair marks. I'm still not going to say it wowed me, and I'm still not going to say I would buy a full tub. So, sorry, Strike Gold. Can't really use me for one of your commercials, I guess. Why don't I go with... I'll go with this one. I got this from a gentleman. There was a long process in me getting this. This is like a cheap German, it's Karl Hogner, Heinrich Hogner, and all. So I just saw it. Somebody posted it on a Shave of the Day on one of the other forums, and it says tobacco, and I love tobacco, so I thought I'd like to get some. And that proceeded to cause me to be looking around on the internet and trying to get some. And with the restrictions for shipping, alcohol all over the world, you can't order it off of like Amazon Europe, or you can't get it mailed to you. You'd have to buy enough to put into a shipping container and ship it by sea. And I mean, I'm all for trying new stuff, but I'm not gonna buy spots on the in a shipping container and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get a new or obscure cologne, which you can buy in like drugstores over there for like a couple of euros. But as luck would have it, there was a gentleman that was going to be coming from Germany to Disneyland, and he put 2 of them in his carry-on bag, took it on a plane, flew to Florida, got off in Florida, went to a post office for me, and dropped them in the post office. So in return for that, big favor, doing that just for me to get some cheap tobacco-scented aftershave, I sent him a couple of American-made razors. I think I sent him a Top Flight and a Genco, and I think I also sent him a Shoemate. So I sent him like 3, decent razors, all honed up and all that stuff, and for appreciation for him doing that for me. So this is still the first bottle I cracked open, so I got another one, and I like it well enough, but, I'm not sure whether I'd try to track down somebody else from Germany to get me some, but, it's kind of cool that you got something that's unobtainium here in America. So, well, rambling on and on. Matter of fact, much less sting than yesterday. Still not perfect, but much better. So, sharper razor, lighter touch, better technique on my part, equaled less irritation. So, see you all on the forum, and thanks for checking in. 21 minutes, this is a long one. Kind of like, I don't know. If I had an editing room, I should probably edit this down, but I don't. So, you're stuck. Have a good one.